Hey, so we're here looking at Postalytics, and there are three menus basically. You have lists, which are your CSV lists, your recipients. You have your creative templates, which is basically like a letter or a postcard, the design itself. And then you have campaigns where you actually send a mailing. So we'll start here with lists. We don't have any lists. We click on Create New List, and then we dump it out from Ontraport. And the important thing about the CSV list is we need the first name and last name to be separate fields, separate columns. And that means when you go to Ontraport and you go and select your contacts and you go to export, make sure that in the list here that you have first name and last name. Ontraport can give you the name field, which is the first name, last name in one, but we want to, if we don't have it here already, to add first name, last name. That way they are separately, and that way Postalytics will accept that. So make sure to do that, and then choose from one of the integrations. So click on comma separated, name our list, and I just have two contacts in this, and I go and I upload my CSV list here. Click on Next, and then it's a contact list, not a suppression list. Looks good, start mapping, and make sure first name, last name, and then make sure that they always mess up the address and the zip code from Ontraport. So choose address and choose zip code. Now confirm field mappings, and we see that it's all mapped. Import now. We're making your list. Now we've made the list, okay? And the next step is to go to Creative Templates. Don't have any templates, so click Create New Template, and then I will create in Editor. Choose our template type, either a postcard or an 8.5 by 11 letter. So we say 8.5 by 11, start editing. And then there's where it will fold into thirds. And what we have here is on the left is where we can add text, bullet points, images, or shapes. And then there's this personalize here where we can add in, we can drop in a merge field. We'll mostly use this, variable data. But then they also have this ability here where you can customize the image, where they have this variable logic, which means you can show or hide items depending on what is there. So that's interesting. And then they have pearls as well. So what we'll do is I have a letter right here, and I'll just kind of recreate this. So we'll go back here and we'll drop in the text. And we'll position that. And then I'll drop in, and I think I can just add this all like this and then format it. So I can say text and not easily. But once we get this formatted, I wonder if I do a line break, if that will work. Let's see if that lets me paste it in correctly. Nope, still won't let me do the line breaks. That's okay, we'll just reformat and so format there. And they have a, well, I guess you get the idea, right? So let me just take out most of this so I can easily demonstrate. And then you see how we can highlight part of this, and it pops up. We can bold, we can bold, And then if you really want to customize it, you can add multiple text boxes or bullet points, but we'll just position this. And if we don't want things in here, we can delete, and we can just, let's see, we'll take that out, and then we will enlarge the size, just kind of position it the way that you want it, make it bold, change the color, and then you see how it shows us how the other items will overlap. We can do all that, just get the letter formatted the way that we want it. Okay, so now the big question is, how do we personalize it? Well, what you do is you go to somewhere in this text box, and where it says personalize, you click on the singular person variable data, and here are all the fields that we imported. So we can, let's just try dropping in the first name, and then we might say something like start providing the Klitoxin procedure in, and then click on this again and drop in city. So that's how we can do the mail merge fields. And if we like, and so now we need to just position this outside of that. Okay, and we see how it works with the folds and with everything else. And we can save and we'll name this Klitoxin letter 1. Save and close. All right, so now we've created that letter. And so far we've imported our list. We've made the letter or the creative. Now we go campaigns, new campaign, and smart send. So smart send means we want to upload a CSV and mail this now. The triggered drip is if we want to use Zapier later and make it work with Ontraport. So smart send, campaign, toxin letter 1, March 11th. Oh, and then we need to put that from address. That's probably an account setting, just so that way it's that way all the time. Recipients, this was the list that we imported earlier. Then click on next. Then template, aha. So we didn't proof that template. So what we do is let's go back to our view templates, and we have to do what's called proofing it and just basically approve it. So we have our templates here, and you click on this and you click on proof, and then we'll use our list data, and we'll use our Robert and Charles, and we'll click next. And there's that from address again. And they just want us to preview what it would look like actually mail merge. That way we're sure that's the way that we want it to go out in the mail. Okay, so here you go. We have Charles plugged in and we have Fairhope plugged in. And then we can click through the records and see how this merges. So check this PDF, and then here's, okay, all right, so click next. Oh, I confirm that the image meets or exceeds, and then I check all these boxes. I confirm it's all the way I want. I confirm there's no spelling errors or formatting errors. And then everything address-wise looks okay, and then the variables being populated. I confirm, accept final proof. Okay, so great. So now that we approved the creative, let me try this again. So we are going campaigns, new campaign, and then now we can choose this letter 1 and click on next, and then choose envelope type, plain window. We don't have tracking. And then, so let's see. First class is 216, and then standard is 172. And then click on next. And then I confirm that it's been reviewed. And is there a way to do this as a test instead? I guess not. Okay. So as soon as we click that, then it will send it out in the mail. So we'll click on Save for Later, and that's how you send a letter using Postalytics. And a postcard is not all that different. We just go and do a new creative, so new template, create an editor, and then we'll do a postcard instead, and we'll do a 6x9 postcard, start editing. And then we'll just fill this in and add your images. And so I think what I did is I used Canva to create the postcard. So I'll just grab an existing postcard design that I have. And so here's this. So I created a front and a back with a QR code and a phone number and an address. So I'll go share, download, and I'll save a PNG of the front. And then I'll share a PNG of the back. Uh-oh, I think I saved two of them. PNG. So I basically saved an image of the front and an image of the back, just to keep me from going to many steps of making a whole postcard from scratch. So I will use this from scratch. Instead of adding the text, I'll add this image here, and then I'll double click it, and I can upload images, and I will browse for the front and upload. And then I will double click and use image. And then for some reason they make it all stretched, but I just can click on this, uncheck lock image proportions, and then make it fit the whole thing. And then that's edit front and then edit back. And then I'll delete all this and choose an image. Then double click, then upload images, browse for the back, and upload that. Now I check that and use image, and then uncheck lock image proportions, and then drag that, and you can tell that there's the border and there's the bleed, so that way you can have the image go through the whole size of the postcard. And then if we ever wanted to customize it, we could just add text on top, right? We can say, have this text here and make this text color white, make it large, and then clicking into the text box, we can click on the singular person and say first name and last name, and maybe we'll say something like personal message for first name, last name. Maybe we'll make it smaller and make it align center, and then make it less line height, and just play around with it until we get that way that we want it. And all right, so personal message for first name, last name. How do I move that? Arrangements. There we go. Position that like that. Edit the back, and then maybe we'll drop in another text box. Here's the sample text. Whoa, too many. Way too many. Okay. All right, so we'll size that there. We'll say go to the website today, comma, and then personalize the first name and make it white and make it about that size. Okay, so that gives us some idea. And then we'll call this postcard 1, save and close. Okay, and then before we forget, see how proofed this is not proofed. So click on proof and use list data. Select your list, Robert and Charles list, and plug in that from address again, start proofing. And here it is, personal message, first name, last name, and then first name. So I confirm all the stuff. I confirm everything fits in properly. Addresses are correct. Variables look okay. I confirm and accept. Okay, so now we made our postcard. And then if we want to send the postcard, we would do it just like the letter. Campaigns, new campaign, smart send. Plug in that return address again. And we would say test postcard 1. Then select your contact list. Then choose the template. Then we'll do the postcard. And it's a 6x9. Oh, that's just to filter them out. So we don't even have to choose the size first. We just say, here's an 8.5x11 letter, or here's a 6x9 postcard. And then URL tracking. Choose when to send it. So 86 cents a piece versus 81 cents a piece. Choose what day to send. That's interesting. And then when you say it's okay, then that would mail the postcard. And so that takes care of manually sending a letter and then manually sending a postcard. Now, how do we hook it up with Ontraport? Glad you asked. So what we do for that is we would say new campaign, and then instead we do a triggered drip, and then choose Zapier, and then we'll say, I don't know, let's say Zapier postcard 1. Put in your from address. And then there's no list because the list will be added one at a time. Choose proof template. So what are we sending? We'll send the postcard. And then URL tracking, first class. Confirm it's been reviewed. Okay, so then what do we do next? Well, we go to Zapier. We'll log in there. Oh, I think I'm already logged in. Okay. And then we'll say Zaps create, Zap. And then we'll rename this. We'll call this Ontraport to Postalytics postcard 1. And then what we'll do here is I've already created a tag in Ontraport, I believe called postcard 1. So we say trigger Ontraport, and then the event will be tag added. And then the tag, because you have hundreds of tags, we have to click on this load more until we load all 600 or 700 of your tags, and then we can choose the right one. 400. Okay, that's all of them. And so I don't, oops, maybe I don't have a postcard. Okay, so what I would do is, well, let me just do it properly. Okay, so I'll log in to Ontraport. And we'll say contact settings, then manage tags, new tag, we'll call this outreach.postcard1. Okay, now back in Zapier. Oh, I need to load more. Outreach postcard 1. So when they're added to Outreach postcard 1, object type, make sure to choose contacts. And then we need to add someone onto that tag. So I'll add myself first, then I'll add you. So Robert Plank, I've got an address. We'll say tags, add postcard 1. Okay, then we'll test this again. All right, so here's me, postcard 1, continue with record. And then on the receiving side, what we'll do is Postalytics. Okay, there we go. And then I need to, Postalytics. And then we'll say send and track a postcard or letter. And then I'll need to change it to your accounts. So connect a new account. Log in here. Continue to Postalytics. Okay. So I'll make sure to use Cellular Medicine Association. Okay. And then the triggered drip campaign will be the Zapier postcard 1 we just set up. And then we map the fields. So click on first name, map last name. Then we have address and address 2, city, state, postal code, there we go, zip code, and then phone number. And I think you can also map other fields if we wanted to get really fancy. But we'll click on continue and we'll test the step. Okay, now we'll go back to Postalytics, and if we go to View Campaigns, and so we want Zapier postcard 1, so I don't know why it didn't show up in the, maybe because it's in test mode. So click on, set a test mode, Oh, 0 remaining credits. Okay, so now the Zap is running, and let's try it for real. Let's go to your contact. And contact tags, postcard 1. Add that. Okay, well, I think once we get this out of test mode, it would work. We don't have credits. So buy credits. All right, 100. Oh boy. Okay. So we'll take this off of postcard 1. And let's look at the campaigns again. Okay, so postcard 1, audience 0. And we'll add you back on postcard 1. Oh, mail's still in test mode, that's why. All right, so take it out of test mode. And then take this off of postcard 1. Try postcard 1 again. And campaigns. Here we go. All right, so now it says audience 1. If we click into that, all right, here we go. So here you are. And so that is how we, in one click, add someone to the postcard. And then if you wanted to automate that in an automation, then you would just have a delay, have a sequence where it added them to this postcard 1 tag. And then because Zapier here is connecting the tag from Ontraport, postcard 1, to Zapier postcard 1 in Postalytics, that is how it would bridge the gap. And then I believe there's a way to stop the postcard from going out before it's too late. So there's the contact, but is there a way to stop it from mailing? Oh, not yet. Okay. Well, that's how we use Postalytics. So we have these 3 menus, right? We have the lists. These are our CSV lists. Then we have our creative, where these are the postcards and the letters. And then we have our campaigns, where we then send out a postcard or a letter to a list. And then it looks like it also creates a list based on what we've sent out. So that's interesting, right? If you send out Zapier postcard 1, then it automatically says, hey, here's who we've sent this postcard to. So that's very interesting. And that's how we use Postalytics.